This is my dad, Woody. Oh, Russ. But everybody called him Woody. Gentry. Passed away almost, 5 years ago. Beautiful man. He encouraged my art habit at a very young age. And I get so excited and enthusiastic about my drawings. Such a people person. Really do miss him. These photos from Thanksgiving. He's checking the food on the stove. He had such a big heart, such a people person. He's the one who gave me the motorcycle bug. I'm not using a grid at all for this one. Just started by looking at my backgrounds that I'd made. This is probably my least favorite background, just by itself. But it's moody darks and kind of warm tones combined. For some reason, something about it made me think of my dad, and I think he would have liked it. And then, looking in the print from the watercolor, I actually saw this contour line of a t-shirt and this part of his head bandana and the ear and this whole part, this shape was all there already in the paper. And so we started with the ear, and then I actually did a measuring sighting trick where I measured the ear and counted how many spaces across until the side of his head. And then I did the same thing here and double checked. I still feel like some of the proportions are off. It's been about a year since I've done a portrait of my dad. Something I like to keep revisiting. Makes me feel close. Not quite. Got this fancy new light. Shout out to Nick, my little brother, who got it for me for Christmas. So there's a sunlight bulb lamp called Ot Light on a stand, and a magnifying glass, which I don't really use the magnifying glass too often, except to strap my phone to. And it's a lovely camera holder. At this angle, I see a lot of glare on the graphite, so I'm trying to get a better angle but not disrupt the video too much. I love portraiture. I think, just started with a really good teacher that I had in middle school. He taught us the grid technique. You make a grid with a ruler over the photocopy of the drawing, and make the larger grid on your paper using a ruler, doubling the size. You just see one grid by one grid where the lines intersect. Just breaks it all down. And really that's the same thing I'm doing now, imagining vertical lines, horizontal lines. Where does everything align together? And especially my favorite trick for when I'm feeling stuck, when things aren't quite looking like the person I'm drawing, negative space, right? So when I'm drawing this line, I'm not just drawing this line, I'm actually observing the space in between these two sections. I can kind of get a sense, everything I'm measuring distance, just observing and comparing. How wide is this space compared to this space? So I used to do these drawings from magazine people magazines. In 8th grade, we had an assignment to do a large-scale grid, and I did my grandpa on my mom's side, a large scale, and just shade each grid section at a time. And there's this kind of magic that happens when it starts to all come together. I keep telling my students it's really about slowing down and just observing deeply. Also practice observing deeply, because if you're new to trying to draw what you see, you just got to get in a blind contour drawing regiment every day. Do like 5 minutes of blind contour drawing or more. And the more you practice, the better you get. Man, I have some stellar artists right now in my classes. All their peers just look up to them and can see it, that they're very skilled in what they do. And I always bring it back to, hey, how long do you spend a day practicing or doing what you're doing? I have a 7th grader right now. I bumped up a level into my intermediate art class alongside a lot of 9th and 10th graders. He's been painting. Even in 6th grade, when he came into my Explore class, he was painting so much, just on his own for the final project. He painted, I think 15 to 20 paintings in a period of 3 weeks, just because he wanted to. And I asked him the other day, because his peers were like, Luis, how does everything you touch just turn to gold? You're just so good. And he says, yeah, about 2 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day, he paints. He looks up YouTube tutorials, spray paint tutorials. He does it. He practices and he works out that muscle. So you guys, no matter where you're at as an artist, the more you do the thing, the better you're going to get. There's no such thing as perfection. There's no such thing as being a perfect artist or making the most perfect picture that someone wants to buy. It's about a habit. It's a work habit. It takes hard work and time to develop technique, to stick with it even when it's hard. But you love it, and so you're going to do it. If you don't love it, you won't do it, and you won't make time for it. But if you are one of those artists that loves and has to create, you're not going to let it go. And I hope all those older adults, you know, their 50s, 60s, 70s, that somehow let someone shut down their creativity, tell them they couldn't do it or whatever. I hope they can get back to it. It's never too late. Just gotta create. No matter what it is you want to create. I happen to really enjoy capturing a likeness in portraiture. Been doing it a while. Everybody's got their own thing that they love to do. If you want to get good at it, just do it a lot. Anybody can learn to do it. It's not this hidden talent sort of game with this life. Yeah, people are born with like a tendency or a certain interests or some people are born with a certain knack for some things, but if you enjoy it, you can learn it. Picking up an instrument, learning to dance, learning to draw and render. Anybody can learn technique. It's not like you're just born able to do this. I was taught very specific techniques that I then practiced and used and learned and learned to see. Just get my hand and my eye working together. And of course my heart and imagination as well. It's helped. My dad took me skydiving on my 18th birthday. Tried to on my 16th birthday, but the laws weren't there to allow 16-year-olds to go skydiving. This is good for now. I'll come back to it later.